Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Yana and in today's video we're going to be talking about nurses' wages, how much nurses earn here in Australia, and also how does their salary or a wage rate progresses with the years of experience. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Yana. I'm a registered nurse. I started this channel when I was a nursing student and I kept on going through my study years and through my grad year and up until today. So now I've been working as a registered nurse for 4 years for Queensland Health in a public sector. And I do occasionally ask you guys on my Instagram and in reels and in my stories if you want me to highlight any topics in regards of nursing, if you have any questions. And in my last reel you guys wanted me to talk about wages. So in particular you wanted to know how much nurses earn, what is the start of point for a yearly salary and also hourly rate, and then how does it work when you start to gain more experience, and does your pay increase, and if it does, how it works, and also if you progress to a higher positions, how much your rate will increase then, and if you need to do any additional studies for it. And also I've been asked, if you move within the wards, does your pay changes? All right, so I'll try to answer all these questions according to my best knowledge. I have some information here in front of me. I'm just using my laptop here. It's a laptop, guys. Using my laptop here, and I will be referring to the wages, to the wage rates outlined on Queensland Government website as of 1st of April 2024. Everything that I will be mentioning in this video, I will link for you guys in the description box below, all the links and websites and everything, so you can open it up and have a look yourself. I'm not using any forums or anything like that. I'm purely using a government based information. So before I go into wages, I just want to say that there are levels in nursing, and it took me a long time to get my head around it, because there are grades, there are levels, and there are units within those levels. Like literally blowing my mind why they have to make it so complicated, but they do this for a reason, because every level and a unit in that level is linked to your salary, because it's linked to your experience and also the position that you are in. For example, so level 1, this is typically the entry level for registered nurses with 8 pay points within the level. I think it's 8 and 7. I think it's 7. And then level 2 includes nurses with more experience and potentially additional qualifications with 4 pay points in it. And the points go per year. So a point is equal to a year, if that makes sense. Year of your experience. So you progress from point 1 to point 2 to point 3 every single year. Then level 3 is similar to level 2 with 4 pay points. Then level 4 may include nurses with specific roles like assistant director of nursing, and they only have 3 points there in that level. And then the last level is level 5, represents the highest level for registered nurses with 6 pay points. Okay, so when you go now to, hold on a second. When you go to the wage rates on Queensland Government website, as of last year, you have here, starting in the beginning, assistant and nurse, and I'll show you how it looks like. So it looks like this, the tab looks like this. You would have your positions here, so your type of nursing. Then you would have the second column would be nurse grade, then the band, and then the pay point, and then you would have your salary. Oh, I hope my computer is not turning off because it's flat. Please don't turn off. There we go. think I have 40%. Yeah, and then you have your yearly salary, your fortnight, and hourly. So when we go down all the way from scrolling away from assistant of a nurse into enrolled nursing and down to, we will be talking today registered nursing, because they have here midwifery as well. They have clinical nurses, director of nurses, clinical practitioner, and all of that. So I just need to find. So we have registered nurse and registered midwife under one section. So when you just start, you would be on level 5. Is it a level? Yeah, it would be grade. You will be starting as a grade 5, and then you will have band. Okay, they call it here. I'll show you. So a registered nurse and a midwife here, and then they have your this is your band 5, and then your grades or levels, and they have 7 of them, which equals to 7 years. So when you just start on your first year, the salary is $39.87. This is what you start. So this will be your basic hourly rate through the first year of your practice. And then on the top of that rate, you will have your evening penalty if you do afternoon shift. You will have your Saturday penalty. If you do Saturday, if you work on Sunday, you will have your Sunday penalty rate. When you work on a weekend, it doesn't matter if you do the afternoon shift, you will still have your Saturday or Sunday penalty rate only. You won't have your evening and weekend penalties together. It's just only a weekend penalty because it's quite high. But you start on $39. Then the next year, you would go to $41.73. Then the following year, you would go to $43.69. So I would say the increase goes by $1.50, $1.60, something like that. It's under $2. It's not full $2. So this is how much you get increase on your hourly wage every single year. And then, so I'm doing my fourth year. My salary now is equal to 47, not the salary, the hourly rate is $47.62. So if I do a night shift, if I do a Sunday shift, it's doubled. If I do Saturday, I have 50% on top of it. If I do a night shift, it's, what's the night shift percentage now? I think 21 or 22, something, or 25% penalty rate on top of that. Then, if you are a clinical nurse, you have completely different starting point. If you are a clinical practitioner, again, you're starting from a different point. Everyone is different. Enrolled nurses, they are different as well. Let me have a look at enrolled nurse. Enrolled nurse, grade 3, they only have 5 levels in there, and they start from $35.92 an hour, and on a 5th year of practice, they will reach $38.12. This is their top. If the enrolled nurse has advanced skills, like advanced practice, maybe maybe they had like a postgrad diploma or certificate or something additional to their enrolled diploma, they will start on $39 in the first year. So they will progress to a grade 4. They will have only 2 levels, 2 units in it, which is 2 years. The first year, they will earn $39.25 an hour, and the second year will be $41.65. This is why I say that, and a lot of other people who understands this say as well, that when you become enrolled nurse, your growth in terms of career growth is limited. Once you reach your 5 years of experience, if you don't have any additional postgrads or anything like that, or any advanced skills, your highest hourly pay, according to this award wages of 2024, will only reach $38.12. And again, that depends where you work, because Queensland Health, I think, pays the highest. Then it goes, before it goes private sector, like private hospitals. Then before this goes aged cares. Some private aged cares may pay better, but Queensland Health is good. If you're casual though, that's a different story. If you work as a casual through the nursing agency and you're picking up shifts as an enrolled nurse elsewhere, like in community or aged care or hospitals, you will have okay rate, because you will have your 25% of casual rate on the top of your hourly rate. So let's say even if you reach your highest, the 5 years of experience of $38 or whatever, you will still have your casual rate on top of it. But again, your salary, hourly salary, might be a little bit different. Depends where you work. As I always say, aged cares usually pay the lowest. So for enrolled nurses, there is not much of a room to grow once they reach the peak. But for registered nurses, there are more opportunities just by having bachelor. Like, you still have more opportunities. And I will film for you another video, guys, because I've got questions from you as well in terms of having a bachelor. Like, what does this allow you to do as a registered nurse? Can you move to different areas? Do you need to restudy again? Do you need to get additional studies if you want to change a ward or something like that? What benefits do you get in terms of career growth by just having a bachelor? So I will do another video for you guys explaining how that works. So going back now to the registered nurse grade 5, so we have 7 points or seven levels. They call it points, they call it levels, they call it units. It's so confusing. But anyway, you have 7 years of your experience to grow in. The highest that you can reach in your 7 years of experience for a registered nurse is $53.53. And this is true because I talked to the girls who work with me in my old ward, in a general medicine ward where I used to work, my first 4 years, and they told me that, yeah, like you reach roughly like 54, I think 55 is the top, so you can reach, and that's it. After that, you are encouraged to do additional studies if you want to, or you are encouraged to apply to higher positions like clinical nurse position, clinical nurse, clinical facilitator, NUM positions, and things like that. So for some of them, you don't need to have any additional experience. For example, to become a clinical nurse, you don't have to go and add another postgrad certificate or diploma to your experience. You can just apply for a temporary or a permanent position of a clinical nurse within your medical service line or within the surgical line. If you work in a medical line, they'll take you. If someone went somewhere on a holiday for a month or two, or stepped down for whatever reasons they are, you can apply for a short contract and get that experience. So if there is a position on your ward of a permanent clinical nurse, apply for it as well. You don't need any additional studies for it. They look at your experience, how many years of experience you have done. And technically, usually like the more the better, but I would say you can apply short contracts. As a clinical nurse, you can already start to apply from 3 to 4 years of experience by having that experience. If you want a permanent one, you can still apply if you have 3 years of experience of just registered nurse, being a registered nurse. They may look at someone who has more experience, but technically, like, you can apply, you can. So so in this sense, for registered nurses, you can grow still in your hourly rate if you apply for higher positions or if you study something else. For example, even if you are on your 4th year of work, you only have 4 years of experience, so you are in your unit 4 of grade 5 of being a registered nurse, and you decided to go and do certificate in assessment and training, right? So you've done the certificate, I think it's called certificate 4 in assessment and training. You can do it through TIFE. they have to increase your hourly rate because you have now post education. You've done something post grad. So they have to increase it for you. Even if you didn't apply yet for a clinical nurse, clinical facilitator role, maybe because this was your initial idea behind taking that certificate in the first place. So you haven't applied for that role, the role wasn't advertised yet, whatever. But because you have post-education, they have to increase your hourly rate because you added that to your qualification, to your experience, to enhance your experience. Now you know more than the other nurse beside you because they don't have that certificate for. They can't facilitate students, let's say. I'm just giving you an example because in reality you can apply for CNCF positions without this certificate. I'm just giving you like a imaginary example, linking it to this certificate. Some people go and get postgrads in critical areas of care, like for example, emergency or what's the other ones that I've seen? Like wound, for example, if you want to look after patients who have complex wounds, like we have special wound nurses. We also have diabetic educators who are registered nurses as well. So you can go and do masters if you wish to, or advanced diploma or something like that if you want to become a diabetic educator. So that will give you increase in salary, but you have to study something. So some people even become NUMs, and I mentioned that in my previous video, without having any post-grad degree. So just based on the experience. But with enrolled nursing, you don't have those doors for you because enrolled nursing has its limitations, whereas registered nursing is more broad and it opens you more doors. Like you can move to research area if you want to and things like that. So you have pretty much room to grow and increase your income. So let's have a look at the examples of income of a clinical nurse. Clinical nurse, it would be grade 6, so you progress from grade 5 to 6, and it would have 4 units in it, 4 years of experience. So you will start as $54.44 an hour. Your second year, you will move on to $55.73 an hour. Then the following year would be 57.1, and then the fourth year will be $58.30 an hour. Okay, so roughly it's about like $6 or so above from a normal RN position. If you apply for a short contract to cover someone who is usually doing CN role permanently and they went away and you cover in their position for 2 months, they will increase you during these 2 months. But once your contract is finished, you go back again to your previous rate. If you applied for a permanent position of clinical nurse, let's say on your ward or elsewhere, and you've got approved and got the position, then your permanent salary or your permanent hourly rate will be based already as of the clinical nurse hourly rate, which is starting from 54.44. And then if you progress and you continue working and staying in this position from year to year, so your salary will grow, reaching in 4 years of being a clinical nurse almost $60 an hour. Let's just remember that these are the wages from 2024. There has been a change already, 25, but I couldn't find it. So it could be like $1 or so difference. Then if we go to nurse practitioner, let's say, that would be a grade 8. And they have 3 units in it. So they start on $75.27 an hour, progressing in the next year to $77.15 an hour, ending with $78.59 an hour. Okay, in 3 years. Director of nursing, it's a grade 9. It has 3 units in it, 3 years, starting from $76.88 an hour to $80.36 an hour, and then progressing to $82.36 an hour. Also, just keep in mind that registered nurses can still make a really good money. How? Nuns, for example, their hourly rate is a little bit higher, right, than you. Do I have a num here to see their hourly rate? I think nums, they make like 115 or something, 120,000 a year. Unit manager, here we go. So unit manager is grade 7, and they have 4 years, 4 units in it, starting from $66 an hour, progressing next year to 69, then progressing to 71, and then the 4th year to 72. So let's say the highest num can make is $72 an hour. But remember that nurses have penalty rates because we work on weekend, we work at evenings, we work at nights, we work on public holidays. Nuns and director of nursing, they work Monday to Friday, and they work normal hours, morning hours. So their rate, hourly rate, even if it's higher a little bit, it's flat. So us nurses, if we want extra, let's say if I have a goal this month to earn 12K, like 10 or 12K to my usual 8 or 9, I can pick up extra weekends, or I can pick up extra nights, whatever pays more, and just add it to my roster additionally. Like I can pick up extra shifts because per contract, you're allowed to pick up more shifts. They may not be approved as an overtime pay because some people have this misconception thinking that if I'm, let's say, on a 40 hours a week, as per my contract, and I decided to increase it by picking up extra shifts this fortnight to 60 or whatever, those extra 20 hours or 15 hours or 16 hours of 2 additional shifts should be paid overtime because it's out of my 40 hours. But no, overtime in Queensland Health has to be approved as overtime. You can't just pick up extra to your contract and hoping that it will be paid overtime just because it's extra to your already made hours that week. No, it has to be approved. This is why when my hospital is really desperate for nurses for a particular shift because it's been advertised and let's say nobody has picked up. This happens very often with the night shifts because people are not very keen on picking up night shifts. So you will find that it's been advertised in the morning or midday that there is a night today available and they're asking for someone to pick it up, and towards the evening they still send you a message because nobody picked it up, and then they will say, okay, overtime approved for tonight. And people will pick it up right away because it's double and a half. And for each hour. So people will pick it up right away because it's approved. It's approved 100% because when they say it's approved, you will get paid double and a half for that shift, if you know what I mean. So NUMs and directors and who else? Nurse practitioners, depends where you work. Those ones, they are tied to the roster that is Monday to Friday. Usually they are full-time workers, but it's gonna be just a basic rate, just a flat rate. They won't have penalties on it. But us nurses, we can have additional shifts with penalties if we want to pick up more weekends. Like technically, if you are a casual registered nurse, either directly employed through your hospital where you've been maybe working before as a part-time and decided to change to casual, or if you're someone who's working through the nursing agency as a casual worker, you can easily survive by just working weekends because Sunday is double, and then Saturday is 50%, and then night is 22%. So you can easily just survive by picking up the highest paid shifts, and you don't have to even do 7 a fortnight as you used to be before. You can just survive on a weekend. Yes, you won't see maybe some of your friends on a weekend, but I mean, like, some sacrifices need to be made in this life, right? If you want to work less, It doesn't come without sacrifice, but if you want to have free time for yourself and just rest more or do something on a side, like a business, open up a business or whatever, you can literally just be a casual worker and, work just weekends if you wish to. So yeah, so these are the wages, as you can see. Now, I've been asked, if your salary changes, your hourly pay, if you are switching wards. No, it doesn't. It doesn't really. It only changes if you progress to, let's say, from registered nurse to clinical nurse or to becoming a NAM, things like that. But if I move from my general medicine ward to high acuity area like emergency, just because it's more busy and harder and challenging to work there, doesn't mean that they're gonna increase my pay. It's not gonna happen, no. Your pay is only increasing with the years of your experience, additional studies, and progression in positions, like going from RN to CN to CNCF, clinical facilitator, to NAMS, to director of nursing, to nurse practitioner, if you want to do masters to become nurse practitioner, and things like that. So this is how it increases, not from you changing the areas. So I hope that answers. I think I'm pretty much have answered all your questions in regards of wages. Wages differ as well where you work. Community services, disability, aged cares, non-for-profit or private even have difference there. They will have different. I find that private aged cares pay more than non-for-profit aged cares. Private hospitals and public hospitals differ in wage, even though we have like a government set up wage ranges, they still have differences depending on the sector where you work. So choose your highest, do your research as well, choose your highest. I would say that Queensland Health pays really well. Private aged cares pay really well as well. Private hospitals pay nicely too. I like it, so it's not too bad. Not-for-profit aged cares pay the lowest. In my opinion, they pay the lowest. It doesn't matter whether you're a AEN or EN or RN. They pay the lowest in my opinion, because I had experience and I have something to compare. I've worked in private aged cares, I worked in non-for-profit aged cares, and I can compare the wages. So I hope this video was useful for you guys. If you have more questions, if I haven't maybe covered something in this video, please leave your question and the comment in a comment section below, or you can DM me on my Instagram. I will link my Instagram in a description box below. Don't forget to check all the information and links that I will provide for you down below as well, for your own knowledge, do your own research as well, and do a bit of learning on your own too, because sometimes you need to back it up by checking government websites. We always have some new information posted there. I think at the moment as well, so nursing unions, they've been advocating for us to increase our wages, because currently in Australia, Victoria is the highest in hourly wage for nurses, and we want to go just a little bit above them by a couple of cents. Now we are below, so they are advocating for us and pushing through this suggestion to the government. So it's under review at the moment. They've been also pushing suggestion to increase night shift penalty rate as well, which would be great because night shifts are not easy. If they push it to 35% penalty rate, would be great. I would want it to be 50 to be honest, but probably won't happen. But anyway, and yeah, so they're working on some things to improve quality of work for nurses, and usually nursing unions, they advocate for us, and if there is a need for something, we just work together. It's been a couple of strikes as well, quiet strikes within the hospital happening in the last months. So at the moment, we're just waiting for approval for the wage increase, and hopefully it will go through. Anyway guys, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next ones. Bye.